Welcome to our series focused on the phases of our Starseed Activation Journey. I'm Urania with Urania Heart Metaphysics.
And I'm Jackie B with Grow with Jackie B LLC and the Free and Fully Expressed movement.
So in this video, we're going to be discussing phase one and sharing an introductory practice that you can apply today.
So, this is a breakdown of our 12-week Starseed Activation Journey. And today we're talking about phase one, which is the first 3 weeks of this beautiful journey we're taking together. So, phase one is all about safety, grounding, and discernment. It's really remembering that you are safe to remember, right? The foundation of everything. So, it's setting that the remembrance foundation and setting the groundwork before we dive into the embodiment and integration pieces. Because I think one of the biggest misconceptions about starseeds is that remembering is about awakening faster. In our work, remembering really begins with the safety. Because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, your body won't let you remember. Not deeply anyway, not clearly, and definitely not sustainably. So phase one is not about ascension, it's about landing. And many starseeds struggle to land in the body. They feel different, sensitive, overstimulated, emotionally flooded, spiritually open, but physically ungrounded. So most programs will jump straight into the lineage, the light codes, the activation pieces, right? But without grounding, that can become overwhelming for the system. So we don't activate without integrating. And so you don't open without a containment of some sort, right? A feeling of held. And because urgency will block remembrance, when you rush to remember, you're trying to force it. So, or analyze it, or trying to define it, right? It's like a logical process, and remembrance is not a logical process. It's activating a different part of your brain. So remembrance really requires you to soften, to open up, and to be able to receive. So how we do this is week one. Really the theme here is you are safe to be here, here in this moment, here in this present space, right? It's about slowing down the rush that you may feel. It's about noticing, where are you pushing yourself to figure it out? Where are you racing to define your identity? And where do you want certainty before your body feels ready? Because in this whole week, we teach belonging not as a concept, but as a felt experience in the body. If your body doesn't feel it belongs, no starseed lineage will fix that. So we begin with the grounding, the somatic arrival, daily micro practices, not because grounding is basic, but because grounding is sacred. So by the end of this week one, you're going to feel less frantic about who I am and more steady in your body, more present, more just you, right? Like it's less about that spiritual anxiety, right? And more open without having that mental grip. It's really about arriving instead of searching. Then it takes us to week two. Safety is sacred and it lives in the body. This is all about the nervous system, right? Safety is anchored in our nervous system. So many starseeds confuse sensitivity with dysregulation. And they look at like attunement with overwhelm, right? Or spiritual depth with dissociation. But we teach it differently. We explain why spiritual overwhelm often masks the nervous system fatigue going on, why grounding is not limitation, and why regulation is part of the devotion. Because you can't hold cosmic remembrance in this dysregulated body. So we teach tangible tools to support your nervous system in order to connect clearly. We normalize the ups and downs and spirals and integration waves that are part of this process. So by the end of week two, you're going to feel more in control of your energy, less afraid of your own sensitivity, and more able to regulate those highs and lows. And you'll feel more embodied instead of that dissociated type feeling. You're going to feel more confident navigating the overwhelm. So you're going to stop villainizing yourself and you're going to understand your system, which then takes us into week three. And week three, this is where the power starts to return. This is critical because without discernment, Starseed essence can become fantasy, right? It can come into this like just fictional piece. So we teach there's a difference between discernment and fantasy, projection and channeling versus conditioning, right? We explore why starseeds outsource their authority and their doubt that circles around their own inner knowing. We bring you back to the body. We remember that truth is this body resonance that's ever shifting, right? It's not just a mental certainty. So by the end of week 3, you're going to feel more confident in what's yours and what's not, and less reliant on external readers or validation. You're going to feel more embodied in your own truth and less confused about the messages that are all coming through, right? All the different messaging that we are literally bombarded with every day. And we'll feel more grounded in our own authority. So, this is where we will stop asking, am I making this up? And you start asking, like, what does my body already know? And why this phase is laid out the way it is if we skipped this phase, everything would collapse. Because phase 1 builds that safety, that regulation, the discernment, the belonging, the authority. It's the foundation we need to build upon. Because without that activation, well, it's just a figment of imagination almost, right? It's not allowed to actually take form and be a tangible experience. Without the activation, like with all of this foundation, it becomes embodied power. So if you ever felt spiritually open but physically overwhelmed, or if you felt like you don't fully belong here, or if you've ever doubted your own inner knowing, phase 1, this is where we begin. We begin to remember that you are safe to remember. And the remembrance begins in the body. So that's why we come back to the body.
So, we're going to share a simple practice that you can utilize today and as you go about your journey with uncovering and remembering your cosmic identity. So, get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. And I invite you to take a slow breath in and a long exhale out. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just notice, are you rushing to figure out who you are? Are you trying to define your identity before your body feels ready? Now softly say to yourself, I am safe to be here. I am safe in my body. I do not need to rush my remembering. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the ground holding you. Now gently ask, what does safety feel like in my body? And listen, and most importantly, feel the safety within your body. Remembrance doesn't begin in the mind. It begins in regulation. It begins in belonging. It begins in the body. You are safe to remember. Stay tuned as Jackie and I share phase 2 of Starseed Activation Journey phases. And please like this video if it helps you feel supported. And if you enjoyed this, and subscribe to our channels to stay up to date with our Starseed offerings.
Thank you, everyone.